Have you ever felt this way? You want to achieve something great. You dream about success. You imagine a better life. But when it's time to act, you delay. You say, tomorrow. If you have ever been ambitious but lazy, then this story is for you. It may change how you see your effort, your potential, and the invisible enemy that lives inside your mind forever. The problem isn't your dreams. The problem is a dangerous silent force we all carry, the shadow of self-doubt and procrastination. Once upon a time, in a busy modern city full of skyscrapers and bright lights, there lived a young man named Kai. Kai was an entrepreneur, full of golden, brilliant ideas. He had the sharpest mind and the biggest plans to launch an innovative company. But wherever Kai went, his ambition was followed by a silent, invisible companion, his shadow. This shadow was not just a dark shape on the ground. It was the physical manifestation of his laziness and self-doubt. When Kai decided to write the business plan, the shadow would grow taller, whispering, "It's too complicated. You'll fail. Do it later." When Kai woke up early to exercise, the shadow would cling to him, heavy and cold, murmuring, "Just 5 more minutes of sleep. You deserve it." Kai could never outrun it. The shadow moved when he moved, stopped when he stopped, and grew strongest under the brilliant light of his highest ambitions. The more ambitious Kai became, the harder his life became. He tried to trick the shadow. He tried to run away by switching projects constantly, hoping the shadow wouldn't follow. It did. He tried to hide by working in the dark, but the shadow of his doubt was comfortable in the darkness. He tried to fight it with pure willpower, but fighting the shadow only made him exhausted. He realized the awful truth. He was fighting himself, and in a war against himself, there are no winners. His brilliant ideas remained locked in his notebook. He was a man with golden potential, living a gray average life, all because of an enemy he could not defeat. Desperate, Kai left the bright city and traveled to a quiet mountain village to find a wise old hermit. This hermit was famous not for his knowledge, but for his profound and perfect inner peace. "Master," Kai pleaded, showing the hermit his weary face. "I am ambitious, but my shadow, my procrastination, is destroying me. Tell me the secret to defeat it." The hermit smiled, a warm, genuine smile. "There is no defeat, young one. You cannot kill what is part of you, but I can show you how to render it powerless." The hermit gave Kai a simple task. Walk the path in the morning sun. Observe your shadow. Then, tell me where it goes when you face the sun directly. Kai returned the next morning. He stood on the path, his face to the rising sun, his ambition. The shadow stretched long and dark behind him, a constant, massive reminder of his potential failures. He tried to step on it, but it just shifted. He tried to ignore it, but the whispers of doubt were too loud. He returned to the hermit, defeated. "Master, the shadow is always there. When I look at the sun, it reminds me of how far I have to go, and the shadow mocks me." Before we reveal the hermit's secret that changed Kai's life, take a moment. If this struggle with self-doubt and the constant battle against your own ambition resonates with you, make your first small act of discipline today. Hit the subscribe button. That small click is the first step you take towards placing your ambition under your feet. Now, let's get back to the solution. The hermit nodded slowly. The shadow of laziness thrives when you focus on 2 things: the massive goal, the sun, and the massive fear, the shadow. It loves the distance between the two. "There is only one way to defeat the shadow," the hermit said, his voice dropping to a whisper. "You must turn your back to the sun." Kai was shocked. "But master, my goal is my son, my ambition." "Yes," the hermit confirmed, "your goal is too big. It paralyzes you. Now, turn your back to it and walk towards the path where your shadow lies." Kai reluctantly turned his back on the bright sun. He looked down the path, and as he began to walk towards the shadow, something astonishing happened. The shadow, which had been stretching massive and mocking behind him, began to shrink. As Kai took his first small, deliberate step away from the paralyzing ambition of the sun, the shadow retreated. With every subsequent step, the shadow became smaller, until finally, after a few paces, it vanished entirely, swallowed right underneath his own feet. Kai looked down. There was no shadow. There was only his own foot, placed firmly on the ground. The hermit explained the profound lesson. The shadow of laziness and doubt only exists when there is a distance between you and the light. When you place your foot on the ground and focus only on the next immediate step, the shadow has nowhere to stand. Your laziness is afraid not of your huge ambition, but of your small, immediate action. It is afraid of the discipline of the next step. Kai returned to the city. He didn't look up at the impossible-to-reach sun of his grand ambition. He simply looked at the single, next task on his desk. Write the first paragraph. He learned to embrace the truth. His shadow was never meant to be killed. It was meant to be subjugated. Every time he felt the familiar pull of doubt, he would just take one small action, stepping directly onto the shadow, crushing the procrastination before it could gain form. Slowly, the whispers faded. His ideas moved from his notebook to the real world. His company was built not in a flash of genius, but through 10,000 consecutive deliberate steps. He became known not for his potential, but for his unwavering presence, a man who always had his shadow underfoot. Dear listener, Kai's story is not just about a mountain path. It is about your morning routine. It is about your impossible deadline. You cannot run from your procrastination, but you can defeat it. Stop looking at the massive, terrifying distance between you and your goal, the sun. Stop feeding the fear, the shadow. Instead, turn your ambition into action. Take your eyes off the huge outcome and focus on the tiny, immediate step in front of you. When you do the next small thing, the shadow of laziness has nowhere to stand. If Kai's story resonated and gave you clarity, share your commitment. In the comments below, tell me, what is the one small step you will take today to crush your shadow? Let that be your first action. Your first claim on your own life. And if you know someone else fighting this battle, share this video with them. Which small step will you take today? Put your foot down and claim your ground.